Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new and improved Unbettable podcast. I am Mondo, here with Holmes, here with Gary. Boys, we took a little hiatus last week, and I decided to get a little bit creative. What do we think of this format off the bat?
Looks fantastic. The ticker that we got going down at the bottom with all the day's news, absolutely phenomenal. Intro was great. I mean, this is going to be fantastic. We're just in time for football season. This is when we're going to ramp up, have at least two shows going out a week. I mean, this is hype, bro. It looks awesome. Fantastic job, I got to say.
Yes, I agree. I mean, Mondo is keeping us updated all week with all the work he's been putting in. And me and Holmes are definitely very appreciative of him for doing that for us. I mean, it makes me more excited to want to do the pod, more consistently and put a lot more effort into it. And yeah, let's fucking do this shit type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely long overdue. We kind of needed to freshen something up. We've been doing it for a while, so figured, with us not being able to use Zoom like we used to, let's try something new and restream, and we'll go from there. The rest in peace to Zoom. Gary got called out at work for using his Zoom. Not the best move, but it happened. And so, but boys, uh, we are coming back off break on the heels of an incredible Olympics. Now, I wanted to, kind of get your takeaways, but first, I really wanted to start with basketball. I mean, it's just absolutely unreal the run we went on to end it, including this little sequence right here.
Jab, triple, he sticks it!
Steph, say calm down, everybody.
It's
Down.
Curry, step back, pump, Curry, ridiculous!
That's unfair.
Steph Curry, kick, Curry, again?
Don't.
You already know! Curry, dancing on Batum, over the double team. Oh! It's a golden dagger!
I mean, wow. Just an absolutely unreal way to end the game. Gary, I want to start with you. What were your initial takeaways after watching that little bit?
I mean, I was watching that live while I was working, or actually, I was on a golf trip with my dad when I saw that, and it was just absolutely electric. I was at a brewery watching it, and like, it honestly like put a smile like on my heart, if that makes any sense, because it's like, you don't see shit like that all the time, and like for them to like do that in the Olympics on like a huge stage like that, playing against like the host country, like it is the most USA Eagle screech shit we could have ever done. Like it was just absolutely electric. I mean, Paris and everybody thought that they had a shot because they were making it to all these finals, and it almost seemed like sus in a way how they were competing for all these gold medals. And I didn't really know what to go think of going into it, like seeing Wemby, this is his rookie year in the NBA, like this is a chance to prove that like he's not only a stud like in America, but he's a stud around the entire world. And it was just an electric game seeing Steph and LeBron like just absolutely love each other and like play together and have that sort of chemistry. It was really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Holmes?
It was phenomenal, dude. It was phenomenal. That entire game, the entire run that we've had. I mean, USA basketball. I feel like I speak for a lot of people, and that was by far my favorite part of the Olympics. Like, just watching that team go from where they were and all those exhibition games, playing very, very close matches against teams that you knew they should have blown out of the water, to where they were in that final, hard as hell against some of, yes, the best players in the entire world. Like, USA has the greatest players on planet Earth, but I'm not going to take the rest of these teams for granted. We have definitely seen the world catch up and kind of like get on our level. So it's really, really exciting, bro. I mean, you gotta be really happy for KD, LeBron, Steph. You could see how much winning that medal really, really meant to them, because we don't really know if these guys are going to be back in LA in 4 years. Like, LeBron is the guy that maybe he'll be there. I don't think KD will be there. I don't think Steph will be there. Anything could change, but it's really awesome for those guys to be able to get that gold medal. They worked so damn hard to be able to get that. Steph is freaking unreal, man. Those calls, goosebumps. Absolutely goosebumps.
Curry, Curry.
Yeah, I mean, I hopped on a podcast with one of my coworkers yesterday. I just kept talking about it, man. I mean, you want to talk patriotic, talk about us, we're coming down to the wire in these Olympics. Every gold medal matters. And who does it rest on? It rests on the U.S. basketball, men's and women's. And what do? We fuck around and show up. We ball. We're draining threes from across the planet. I mean, it was an unbelievable time. And it was like the perfect way to capture, or like to finalize the Olympics, right? We're tied with China. We have the most medals, so we technically win. And then you think back and you're like, and there was one thing in the Olympics that didn't sit right with me at all. And that is Noah Lyles. I do not like him. Yes, he gets a 100-meter gold. Congratulations. Then he gets embarrassed in the 200-meter. But what's this? Newsflash. Once he goes down, Noah Lyles, he's got COVID. COVID. They had him race with COVID. He's a pussy. At the end of the day, bro, he's talking all this shit about other sports, and then just like, oh, as soon as he loses, that's when the COVID diagnosis shows up. I call BS. I do not like it, and it is fucking pitiful, and I don't want him representing us in the 200 ever again. That was embarrassing. I'll let you guys take it from there.
I don't have much on it. I think it was just really confusing as hell, for as much as COVID was a big deal in Tokyo, and they took it very, very seriously, not letting fans in there, keeping the athletes very separate. It just seemed to kind of go all out the window if this was in fact a real COVID case, which I'm still skeptical on. The fact that that came out after he lost the race that everybody in the world thought he was going to win, it's a little sketchy to me. I mean, I don't really know what to
Mm-hmm.
make of that. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not. I don't know if we'll ever find out. But the timing of that news makes him look very, very bad in this scenario. Garrett, what do you
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, there's a lot of things that didn't sit right with me about the Olympics. And Noah Lyles was just one of them. The fact that you're gonna claim that you have COVID, and then basically 2 days later, there's a video of you fucking absolutely breaking it down in the club. Like, what the fuck is that? And then I mean, if I may, I'd like to explain the other things that didn't sit right with me about the Olympics. Is that okay with everybody?
Have at it, buddy. Go for it.
Jason Tatum 0 for 7. I feel like that's something that we left out of our talk about that basketball game. That's insane, and I feel like nobody's talking about it, and I don't really get it because that's embarrassing. Next, the opening and closing ceremonies. Very, very sus. I don't really know what the IOC was thinking with, essentially mocking Christianity throughout their intro. And then apparently now there's conspiracy theories about the closing ceremonies, but I'm not going to go into that. Like the intro was just really bad. I feel like the torch ceremony was whack as fuck. Um, and then breakdancing. um, you know, Little Miss Australia. I don't know if anybody has seen that clip. Scoring a zero in her breakdancing
That was
routine because
terrible.
she was not even breakdancing. She was convulsing or something. I don't know like what it was. Like voguing and then like slapping your hand on the floor and then woo, like yeah, that's not dancing. And one thing that I feel like also not enough people talked about was how awkward it was to watch the person in the background during the breakdancing routine. When they weren't dancing, they were just like watching them dance, and I thought it was the most cringe thing I've ever seen. I think that breakdancing should most likely or should be taken out of the Olympics. I think that was kind of stupid. Um, but yeah, that's my piece with the Olympics.
So,
Respectable
I
take.
mean, we definitely talked about the bad. What's everyone's favorite memory of the Olympics this time around? Holmes?
Dude, honestly, the image that is literally engraved in my mind is Katie Ledecky. I believe, I wonder, I think it was like the 1500 meter. It was a very long race. Maybe the 800 meter, 1500 meter sounds like a track race. But when she won that swimming match, and the screen panned to her. There was nobody else in the screen. That's how far ahead she was of everybody. She is incredibly dominant. I mean, she is one of the greatest swimmers to ever get in the water. I mean, she has shown it time and time again. I think she owns literally the fastest 20 times in the entire world. It's her. That's ridiculous. I mean, that image, like, I loved getting to watch that live. That was so damn cool. Like, that just shows how freaking good she is compared to all these other Olympic athletes, the best athletes in the world competing against her. That was incredible.
Gary?
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the name of this lady so I can get her name right. Go ahead, Mondo.
I mean, mine's got to be, aside from us winning it's got to be the Turkish shooter with the hand in the pocket, just aiming down sights like it's nothing. Everyone's got all these little goggles and stuff on trying to aim correctly, and this man just shows up nonchalantly, gets a silver medal, and then straight up disappears from existence. Nobody knows where he's at right now. All right, Gary,
Uh,
did you find it?
yeah, so Raven Saunders is the lady's name. She is an American shot put thrower. And I sent Mondo the clip, but basically she's known because while she does her sport, she wears a mask. And it's like a shiesty kind of mask, but anyways, she gets introduced to the stadium. She comes out, swanging with an A. Let me make that clear. Um, Takes the mask off, just has perms in her mouth, top and bottom, just like walking in, nah. And then she proceeds to throw the worst out of everybody. But I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the clips of that. Twitter went fucking nuts when that happened.
It was funny
Dude,
too.
I mean, I love the Olympics. I hate it's every 4 years, but like it's so fun. It's so fun just rooting for your country. And you root for players that you never thought you'd root for.
Hmm.
Like like that's the crazy part to me. But
You
now,
watch sports, never think you would watch on.
Hmm.
mhm, that is
Speed
true.
cycling, that shit's so crazy.
Yeah, the steeplechase. That was another one. I'd never thought I'd
That was
watch
gnarly.
that.
That was
Which one is
That
gnarly.
that
was
again?
that was wild. It's where they jump over the
Crazy.
thing and land in the water and then keep running.
Oh yeah, dude, I would break my face
Wild.
doing that, man. What the hell? Oh, yeah, that's
So I
funny.
watched that. Oh, I watched handball a lot. And I want to go on the record right now and say I could be a professional handballer in 2 months. 2 months. That's all I need.
Wow.
There's no. All you have to be is a 3-and-D basketball player with a pitcher's arm, and that's how I play, baby. So I think I would dominate the handball circuit because this is. I mean, you want to talk about no athleticism needed? That is definitely a sport that is that. I could dominate that right now. That's a fact.
Also,
I love
shout out Simone
confidence. I
Biles.
mean,
We didn't say her name once, but she absolutely killed it. So shout out Simone Biles.
True.
yeah, honestly, she had no, she had an amazing comeback after the difficult time at Tokyo. Like, I think it was just so it literally happened at the beginning of the Olympics when she dominated. I think it's just almost forgotten about it with all the stuff that we've seen after that. But she
Hmm.
was amazing this year. Came back better than ever. Again, proved to everybody that she is miles ahead of all the gymnasts in there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Holmes, we're going to kick it over to you first for this section. We are talking football futures, college football, NFL, you name it. We are talking about it. It is here. The time is now. We're finally back in football mode. And Holmes, tell the people what they should do with their money.
All right, we are firing away as you said into football, and we got so far that I've really looked into and really liked. I'm gonna start out with college. I'm gonna go with the Miami Hurricanes plus 400 to win the ACC this year. The past couple years, they have been rough for Miami. They have not looked like a very well coached team at times, but I will say the talent that they have accumulated, not only throughout the transfer portal this year, but their recruiting classes the past couple years, this is kind of the year where they're able to hopefully bring everything together and look better than they have looked in a long time. I'm going to kind of quickly breeze through their schedule real quick because the couple NFL futures that I have, I definitely want to go in depth on those schedules. But I want to get your thoughts on this from Miami. Obviously, week one, going to the swamp playing Florida. I'm biased here. I already placed my bet on Florida money line plus 110 to win this game at home. I think it's going to be close as hell, but the home field advantage is definitely going to work in our favor. I like Florida to get this win. As for Miami, I think that this is possibly one of the only games that they can lose in the regular season. Because when I'm looking at the schedule from here on out, they're playing teams right after us: Florida A&M, Ball State, USF. I think those are three easy wins right there. They come home and play Virginia Tech. That could be a little bit of a sleeper tough matchup. Virginia Tech, I feel like, has been a sleeping giant a little bit. They've recruited decently well, gotten some names there. They just haven't really been able to do anything of substance. But I think this year they'll be a lot better. So that could be a close game. Playing Cal, I think they're winning that. Louisville, I think they're winning that. Florida State will be a tough game. They have not beaten Florida State, I think, in a while. I don't really remember when was the last time they actually got a win against Florida State. I have to think about that and probably pull that up. That will be tough, but me personally, I do not think Florida State will be anywhere near as good as they were last year. I think, honestly, Miami will have the edge over them in this game, especially being at home. So I like Miami there too. Then you're rounding out the season with Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. They do not have to play Clemson in the ACC. They don't have to play Notre Dame as an independent team. They don't even have to play NC State in the ACC as well, who I think is a decent sleeper team in the ACC. So, with that in mind, I love them to be able to get 10, 11 wins here. I mean, I think they're going to be at the top of the ACC. They might be up there with Florida State and Clemson, depending on how Florida State does. I think Clemson will obviously be right up there. But I think they have a really good shot if they're able to pull it together this year. The plus 400 value is there. It's, in my opinion, really them, Clemson, or FSU's for the taking. Maybe NC State, maybe squeaks in there a little bit. But what do you guys think about that? I know week one with Florida playing Miami, it's kind of tough to really give Miami any praise right now. But with the value on the future, I like it. But what say you guys?
Go ahead, Gary.
Um, yeah, man. Mondo, go ahead. I had something pop up on my phone that kind of startled me.
Okay. Um, so I actually like the bet a lot. I mean, it's really just contingent on the first week. ACC we know is a pretty weak conference, so I would definitely be behind it. I think you could definitely find a hedge after week one, just depending on how that whole weekend slate shakes out, because that's going to make or break a lot of seasons. Gary, go ahead if you're alive now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Gators are going to absolutely stomp a mud hole in Miami. That is my hope and that is my dream. And I also like Holmes's future bet on, the Gators taking that game over Miami. I definitely think that game's going to be an electric factory. Like, just being in that stadium is going to be plus 6 million aura. Like, it's insane. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Miami had a decent run at it last year. I feel like literally in the very end, it was just a stupid mistake that costed them their season. and I don't necessarily remember what that mistake was, but I do remember it being like the matter of a play. So it's just I feel like you learn from your mistakes, you keep it pushing. And I feel like in college, the starting to get good teams only get better the next season. It's not really like they fall off necessarily, and I don't really think Miami has lost any big pieces of their offense. If anything, they've gained. So yeah, I definitely could see it going in their favor.
Absolutely. Just
Mhm.
to round it out on your point, Gare, like adding Cam Ward in the transfer portal at QB is a massive move for them. I think he's going to be a fantastic piece at the quarterback position. Running back, wide receiver, they look good. Both sides of the trenches, offensive line, defensive line, they have a lot of depth. They should be much improved from last year. One question I have is really the secondary, but even if they show it week one that they're able to do something against the speedy wide receivers that Florida is going to be trotting out there, like maybe we'll see that they have something. So that's my last piece on Miami. Now we'll go to the NFL because we got two in the NFL. First one we're going to go with is an under. We're going to go with the under season win total, the Jacksonville Jaguars at 8.5. This is at -110. We're going to go through this schedule together, boys. We're going to count these wins. I went through this with last night. I'm going to do it with you too, Mondo, all these people out there. This is how we're going to do it. First game, Jags are going to Miami. Play the Dolphins. Mondo, the
Loss.
Dolphins win that game.
Loss.
Obviously. Coming home, playing the Browns. What do we think about that? I think they're honestly going to lose that.
Loss.
I think the Browns are going to be better than people think.
Lost.
Then they got to go to Buffalo, play the Bills. I think they're losing that game. What say you?
Loss.
Loss.
Okay. One thing I preached this last year. Buffalo plays only as good as their opponent does. That's all I'm gonna say about that game.
Okay.
Loss.
So you want to? Let's say, all right. Let's say they get a win against the Browns at home. We'll give them 1-2 right now. Then they got to go to Houston, play the Texans. I think that's
Loss.
1-3. Come home, division game for the Colts. I think they will split the division games with the Colts, win at home, lose away. So we'll give them 2 wins right now. They got to go to London for 2 games, back to back. They play the Bears and the Patriots. No lie, I think they're going 1-1. I think, honestly, the Bears might beat their ass. No cap. Patriots, they should get a win. 3. They have 3 right now. Come home, the Packers. They beat the Packers?
Mm-mm. Loss.
That's a loss. Got to go to the Link and play the Eagles prime time Sunday night. They're losing that game.
Loss.
Jaguars come home, play the Vikings. I think they should get a win here. I don't think the Vikings are going to be that good. We just learned today. J.J. McCarthy torn meniscus. Don't know when he's going to be back. Sam Darnold's ass. They'll get a win there. 4 wins. Going to Detroit to play the Lions.
Loss.
Thank you. Coming home to play the Texans in another division game. I think they're going 0-2 against the Texans. Mondo?
Loss.
Loss. There we go. They're going to Tennessee to play the Titans. I honestly think they should beat the Titans twice. Titans are going to be bad. They should beat the Titans in Tennessee and at home. So we'll give them 2 more wins. That's 6. We're at 6 right now. Come home, they got to play the Jets. They beat the Jets at home. Toss-up game. We'll say they get a win. For shits and giggles, let's say they get a win. 7 wins. Got to go to Las Vegas, play the Raiders. Maybe another toss-up game right there. You like a loss, Mondo? What do you think there?
Loss.
Loss, he says. All right. 1 against the Titans. We already put that into the win total. And then at the Colts, we already said that they were going to lose that game. So right now we're at 7 wins. If any one of those goes the other way, they get another win, that's 8. I think the majority of the games that we said losses on there are going to be losses. If one of them flips, you have 8. You're still under the season win total. I think they're ending up with 7, 8 at the most. I don't think they're going to be a very good team this year. I'm going under 8.5, boys. What do we think?
I like it. I'm tailing.
All right. And then this is the one that Mondo is going to like. We're going to take the Miami Dolphins over season win total 9.5. It is -135. You got to lay a little bit of juice, but I think it is very worth it here. Because Mondo, we're going to go through the Dolphins schedule, and I think you are going to like what we have to offer right here. Obviously, we just said week 1 they are getting a win at home against the Jags.
Win.
All right, hold on. We're pulling up the schedule right here. It's not loading on my phone. We are going to get it. Hang in there, ladies and gentlemen. We got it. All right. Week 2, they're at home to face the Bills. I think they're beating the Bills at home. Home field advantage.
Win.
Unfortunately, I wish this was a day game. It's going to be prime time Thursday night, so they're not getting the Bills in like the sweltering, September heat. But I still think they'll be able to get a win there. 2-0 to start out. Going to Seattle to play the Seahawks.
Win.
Win. That's what I like to hear. Coming home to play the Titans. That's going to be a win. We're looking at 4-0 right now. 4-0 through these first 4 games. You're going to New England to play the Patriots. Come on.
Gary's a pussy. Win.
Win. 5. They could start out 5-0 right now. Going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. What do we think about this? I think they're going to get a win. Win. Even if one of those games flips, 5-1, potentially looking at a 6-0 start. Then you come home, Cardinals at home. I think the Cardinals will be a win. I like it. I think the Cardinals will be a little bit better, but I think the Dolphins are going to win that game. There's a potential to start out 7-0 right now. 6-1 maybe at the worst. Got to go to Buffalo, play the Bills. I think they're going to lose that game. Got to play in Buffalo. Got to do it in November. Going to be cold. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Gary,
all right, we're looking at 6-7 wins right now.
Keep on going.
Got to go to Los Angeles. Play the Rams. Are you beating the Rams?
Win.
Win, he says. All right. Toss-up game, but I'll take it. Coming home, playing the Raiders. I think you're going to beat the shit out of the Raiders. That's a win. We're looking at 7-8 wins right now. Coming home, playing the Patriots. Beating the Patriots again. 8-9 wins right now. Going to Green Bay at the end of November. Might be tough in Lambeau. Pretty cold. We'll say that's a loss. Come home, playing the Jets. You're going to beat the Jets at home.
Win.
Looking at 9-10 wins right now. Got to go to Houston and play the Texans. Toss-up game. Could win, could lose. Texans will be pretty good.
Win.
Mondo says win. He's optimistic. I'll say they lose that game. They come home, though, and play the 49ers.
Win.
I don't know, man. This seems like a situation. They might be
We
able to
put
get
up
over the
a
49ers.
battle against the 49ers.
Absolute
We
battle.
secretly own them.
Maybe we go 1-1 there with the Texans and the 49ers. We're looking at 10-11 wins right now. This is already over the season win total. You got to go to Cleveland in December. Might be a tough game with the weather, but I think you can beat the Browns. And then you got to go to New York and play the Jets to round out the season. I think you're at least winning one of those games. You're sitting at 11 to 12 wins possibly right now. I think you are flying over the season win total. 9.5 seems way too low. I think the boys are going to crush this. What do we think?
I love it. Hammer it. Everybody put your bank account on it. I'm not a financial advisor, but I like the bet.
Nice. All right. Garrett, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like, the futures with the NFL this year are difficult because I feel like there's been so much addition of new talent as well as people coming off of injuries that I think or going on injury, I feel like this season is going to be absolutely insane. Like I feel like, everybody says, "Oh, I like college football more than the NFL." I mean, I feel like this season is going to be one of those seasons where if you're one of those people, you might want to tune in because there are going to be some characters on the field. Like I'm just going to tell you that now. But talking about Miami, I feel like Miami just their offense is just like unstoppable. Tua's a great quarterback. You got Tyreek, who will burn anybody, including Noah Lyles, which he claimed. And I feel like they're just a really good team to watch, a fun team to watch at that. So I mean, I feel like there's definite shot, but I feel like some of these teams that we're saying are going to be dog shit or just don't stand a chance against opponents. Like I feel like our brain might be in a blender after the first week.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it totally could. I told you last night I don't really do a whole lot of futures. It's not really the thing I love to do. But this year, thought for the pod, we got to throw some out there. We got to try and get invested in some of these, see how they're going during the season. These will not be the last ones that I have for the season. We will lock in more for college. We will lock in more for the NFL, and that will include player props, national championship odds, Super Bowl odds, conference championship odds. We'll put all that stuff in there. We'll get a lot of good stuff going, and we will diversify the unbettable portfolio.
We're getting in there. Gary, give me your futures, buddy.
Yeah, so I got a couple player props that I want to dish out. So first, we're gonna start off with defensive player of the year. Now I feel like this one is gonna be kind of contingent based on how their offense performs, but there's not really a doubt in my mind that they're gonna do great. So for DPOY, I'm going to go with Mr. Aiden Hutchinson, the stud from Michigan. I mean, he literally just hasn't let off the gas since he got into the NFL, which is not something that you can say about a lot of players because a lot of players are not playing that first season, really. And he came into the role with the Lions and really showed what he was about. That man is a dog. He is fucking scary. He is fast. He hits hard. He will sack the shit out of your quarterback and not even think twice about it. He don't give a fuck about a flag. So I think that there's a definite possibility that that could happen. Um, this one. So I got one in here. Well, a couple in here that might stir the pot a little bit. We're gonna go comeback player of the year now. And for this one, I got Mr. Daniel Jones at plus 2,500. Now, there is insane value on this. Mr. Daniel, he's growing out a beard. He's either going to rail your wife or he's going to rail your team. It's one of the two. Or he's going to do really bad because sometimes when quarterbacks grow out beards, it means they're about to retire. So, I feel like, it could go one of three ways. Like I said, rail your wife, rail your team, or rail himself. But I feel like plus 2,500, it's really good odds. Like, why not? Damar Hamlin um, is a topic of conversation in this comeback player because he died and that's how he almost won it. So there are stories that can evolve throughout the season that could change the tides of this one, but I like Daniel Jones for this. Now my next one, I can't even. I'm such a bad human being. All right, next one, Arizona Cardinals over 6.5 wins. This is at minus 130. I feel like Kyler Murray kind of had a rough season last year, and it wasn't even really all his fault. He just kind of had nothing to work with on the Cardinals. But I mean, over 6.5 wins. Come on, dude. Like, if you can do that, like I don't know, go sit on the bench with the White Sox. Now, next, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers plus 1,000 to make the playoffs. I know. Insane.
Wow.
Worst team in the NFL last year. I get it. But they also have the 10th easiest schedule in the NFL this year. And I feel like it's one of those things where they need a bounce back. Obviously last year was really bad for them, and nobody will really forget it because of how bad it was. And my last prop that I'm gonna go with is DeAndre Swift under 850 rushing yards on the season, which is at minus 150. I'm looking at the stats here. No single Bears running back, a little tidbit of history. No single running back from the Bears has surpassed 620 yards. I just had a stroke. 620 rushing yards in 2023. That's what I was trying to say. And right now he's projected to get about 770, which is what, 80 under, that over under number. So I feel like there's a definite possibility that that could happen as well.
Cool.
Honestly,
All right.
honestly, kind of like the majority of those, bro. They're not that bad.
Yeah.
Panthers and Daniel Jones, I don't really know if I can get behind. Um,
Mm.
I loved the Aiden Hutchinson pick though. Like I think you can get really good value on that. I just looked on Hard Rock. He's a plus 1100. Like the Lions are just gonna get a lot of FaceTime this year anyway because they were like America's sweetheart last year in the NFL. I mean, all eyes are going to be on them. I'm sure that Aiden Hutchinson is going to perform and absolutely go out there and dominate like he does. And we see that guys that normally play that edge position, they have a really good chance of being able to win Defensive Player of the Year for all the fumbles they force and the sacks they get, all the pressures they create. Like, I think he's an absolutely great candidate for that. And I love the DeAndre Swift bet. I think that is fantastic. Under 850 rushing yards, I think for a couple reasons is fantastic. Number one, the guy's kind of injury prone. There is not a lot of seasons where he has been fully healthy and been able to actually stay on the field and get close to that number. Second of all, Khalil Herbert is right behind him, who we've seen has a ton of talent in the Bears' backfield. Like, that guy can pop off at any time, take DeAndre Swift's job, share time with him. I mean, that's going to cut into his rushing total. So, absolutely love that prop. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
I did good.
Sure.
I'm proud of you. I was not expecting that. Mine are pretty short, sweet, to the point. We're doing futures on champions. In the NFL, I have the Eagles at plus 1,300. What a value play. The rich got richer this offseason as they got Saquon Barkley. Yeah, they lose a cornerstone of the offensive line, but Jason Kelsey helped pick out his replacement. So I like the Eagles as a value play at plus 1,300. They are shockingly lower than I thought they would be. And then in college, I have two. A value play in Michigan at plus 3,000. Why not? Just lob it up there. You might have a shot. And then I have Oregon at plus 700. I like it. I've been running simulations in college football. Oregon's the way to go. Oregon, Oregon, Oregon. We are hammering Oregon. So
Yeah, I like
that's
the
all we
Oregon
got.
pick, honestly. I like the Oregon pick. I think that's pretty good. Being in the Big Ten, I think they're going to ball out this year. They have a ton of talent on that team. Like, they're going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of when if they're able to perform when the lights shine bright. Eagles fantastic pick too. Like, if you getting a fully healthy Jalen Hurts this year, that's going to be a massive difference for them. The guy was definitely not healthy last year, kind of impeding his play a little bit, not able to be 100% this year. Yeah, that, like you said, the rich got richer, bro. They're a lot better than I think they were last year.
I don't know. Like the only thing with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts is like, yeah, he's physically healthy, but is he mentally healthy? Because I feel like that was like a big thing going on last season was the topic of what's going on.
Don't worry. Keep going.
Um, so yeah, like I just feel like mentally, like he just wasn't really all there. I mean, obviously he had beef with Sirianni. I don't really know what was going in the locker room. What was going on, but hopefully, I feel like if they can figure that out, like I feel like they definitely got a chance.
For sure.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to unveil a brand new segment to the show. Studs and Duds. Wow. Absolutely electric. Studs and Duds, brand new thing on the show, brand new segment with the boys. One stud from the weekend, one dud. Get ready, get hyped. We're fucking doing it. Gary Gowdy, give me your stud from the weekend.
God, I'm like dizzy from doing all that shit. My stud from the weekend. I literally had it in my head. Oh yeah, stud. Me, dude. I cracked the code on Hard Rock. Am I frozen?
No.
Oh, okay. You guys just weren't moving. Cool. I cracked the code on Hard Rock, and I want to let y'all know about it. And I'm not gonna tell you what ended up happening to me. All I'm gonna say before I talk about this is don't get greedy with it, because that's how I ended up losing all my winnings. So ping pong live betting on Hard Rock is a thing, and typically, if you look at it and you've noticed that they've played at least 2 sets and that same person is winning both sets, you better hammer them in a lay with somebody else because you will win 8 times out of 10. That's about how many times I was winning, and that's how many lays I set up. And that's how I ended up losing my money. So 8 out of 10 times it worked for me. That's my stud play, is Hard Rock Ping Pong.
Which I'm playing as we record.
Ping
Um,
pong.
do I get
All
my
right,
dud?
Nope. Holmes,
Okay.
your stud from the weekend.
all right. I am gonna go with Caleb Williams, number one draft pick in the NFL this year. Dude looked pretty damn good in his first preseason game against the Bills. Went 4 of 7 for 95 yards. I mean, guy made a no look pass to DeAndre Swift. Had a nice scramble for 13 yards. He looked really calm, really composed. I get it. It's just preseason. Everybody's not playing obviously at full strength, at full health, at full speed. But I like what I saw from the number one overall pick. He looked really good. He looked really comfortable. And I think this kid is a lot more prepared than we probably gave him credit for coming in to the NFL. So I'm excited to see how he continues to not only progress through preseason, but through the regular season too.
Love it. My stud, we already talked about him to kick off. We had our first video clip on him. It's none other than Steph Curry, the Olympic superstar. I mean, you want to talk about a performance of the weekend, something from the weekend? There's no bigger storyline in the country than what Steph Curry did to France. He embarrassed them in their home country.
Yes, sir.
Stephen Curry is unbelievable, and he is my first ever stud. Gary, give me your dud.
So this one, coming from the world of golf, I know, unexpected. It is the Cooch himself, and let me tell you how big of a Cooch he is. I'm talking about Mr. Matt Kuchar. Going into this week, we are starting to see the beginning of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Cooch has no chance at winning absolutely anything. I want to say he's 130th in the standings right now, not even going to make the playoffs. So Cooch gets this great idea that he's going to go out on the final round and he's going to get to hole 18. And then right when he gets there, he's going to quit and say, I want to play tomorrow. I want to play my last hole tomorrow. So what does he do? He does that. He says, I'm done. I'm going to finish my last hole tomorrow. And that was because he had to make up some holes during that day. So he was tired, whatever. But he is such a Cooch that he walks off. And, it's not a big deal. Like, I get it. He's tired. But first of all, you got one hole left. And, like, you've been golfing for years, decades. You've been on the PGA main stage. You've done worse. It's ridiculous. Second, you fuck over everybody that works at that place because now that grounds crew that's probably not making a whole bunch of money has to go back and get everything ready that same night so you by yourself can play that one hole tomorrow. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think, he should be fined for that or something. Like it's just like a really poor showing of character, in my opinion. So yeah, Matt Kuchar is a dud.
Holmes.
Good pick there. Good pick. My dud, going to be two duds. Texas and Texas A&M. Unfortunately, over this weekend, we learned that both starting running backs for Texas and Texas A&M have been lost to injury. Ruben Owens for Texas A&M had a lower body injury and is going to miss the entire season. And C.J. Baxter out of Texas is also going to miss the entire season. Both of these guys are really, really young studs that were expected to be workhorse backs for these teams this year. Really, really tough blows because we know how talented both of them were. CJ Baxter was one of the highest recruits in the 2023 class and was poised to have a massive, massive role. And then Ruben Owens for Texas A&M, he earned all SEC freshman honors in 2023 and was going to be an absolute monster for Texas A&M this year. Very tough news for both of those programs. I got to hope that their running back depth that they have is enough to fill those holes.
Mm. My dud of the weekend goes to none other than Cowboys billionaire owner Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, let me give you a little message here. Something tells me that being a dick to your franchise player is not going to pan out. And you are fucking around and making a mistake, and you need to shut the fuck up. Or else you're not going to have a reason to keep this team. I mean, it's When you're making fun of CD Lamb, arguably top 2 receiver in the NFL, and you're just saying you're not going to pay him. I mean, that's unbelievable, especially with that dumpster fire at quarterback. I mean, it's just crazy. But anyway, that's my dud. Jerry Jones, like, you somehow beat out Noah Lyles for my dud of the week. That's fucking pitiful.
I'm sure Noah
But
Lyles was a very close second there.
oh, he was right there, bro. Like I can't stress enough. Literally right there. But ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode, please, please, please make sure to like, subscribe, share with everybody you know. We will see you on the